All right, hello everybody. This is War Doctor. It is Operation Red Horizon again, US turn 3.2. So this is quite the seesaw going on here over Panama and this area in here. So we're going to see if we can do a little bit to even things out. Okay. First off is global operations. So I am going to attempt to align probably the last power that is worthwhile, which is Venezuela, to join me. I am looking for a 10 or higher. I got a 12. Okay, cool. So that means Venezuela joins the United States in its struggle against global communism, which is fantastic. So Venezuela moves me up 1 IPP back to 6. Having lost some last turn again. And that gives me 2 IPP to spend, so I will plunk down a paramilitary there. And easy peasy. Okay, my buys. Move these forward here. Keep knocking the oil tanker out of the way. All right. So I produced my missile as usual. I'm going to buy a paramilitary for 2, an airborne and a marine for 8, SAM and a light infantry for another 6, and then my final 6 will be another A10. Apparently I'm just planning on losing them. Okay, I have 3 attacks this turn. Now the first of these, I'm going to be taking my amphibious assault ship out of port, pulling a chip off of this, and loading a mech and a marine on board the amphibious assault ship here. That amphibious assault ship is going to go 1, 2, 3, surprise, surprise, on up to Panama, where he will land. In the first round, it's just the marine. Then we'll bring ashore the mech in if there is a round 2. The SSN here in A36 will be firing one of the 2 cruise missiles off my dashboard into this fight for first strike. The fighter and the ASF will join. Flak 88 has opted wisely, I think, not to scramble here from his carrier. So that concludes that one. Number 2 is a little more interesting. So from the airbase here, doing a surgical strike into Peru, which is becoming quite the communist hotbed. So I'm firing a ground launch cruise missile, my last one in supply, from the airbase 1, 2 into this surgical. I'm just going to put these guys on the water here. Well, no, maybe here's fine. Okay. Then the aircraft that are here are all joining this fight, as is the Venezuelan fighter that has just joined us. The Venezuelan fighter will be running seed. The one that was going in was just going to do its normal air combat interception round because Flak 88 has elected to scramble his fighter. So we're going to do a round of interception where these 3 planes, the A-10, the attack bomber, and my fighter, roll their interception values against Flak 88's. Then we'll proceed with the rest of the strike, which will involve any of these. The AAA is going to be suppressed and possibly just killed outright by the seed strike. So, yeah. So we'll attempt to get this completely right because it is something of a challenge. Okay, finally, for the first time in this game, I'm going to launch a border attack. And this, if you've read the rules for this scenario, there are some special rules about how and where you can attack. And they sort of revolve around what you bring to the fight. I would say, look those up, but you have to bring Marines to do a real attack here. And so I'm going to do the 1-round border attack against Buenos Aires from Sao Paulo with my 3 mechs, artillery, and light infantry. Obviously, the paramilitary, since it cannot attack outside of home country, is just sticking around and not joining this fight. All right. That's everything. So I'm going to move the dice on over here. And let's start out with the attack on Panama. So first off, this could end real quick by me just getting a cruise missile hit. So let's see if that works. It does not. So the cruise missile was unsuccessful. Very sad for me. All right. So let's start from the top. Fighter. It's a 12. You know what, here, I'm going to move these guys out of the way. I think it's kind of tilted. Let's make sure I'm still getting this. A Marine in amphibious attack. Attacks at a 3, I believe. Yes, it does. That's a 9. Okay. Airborne defends at a 2. It's a 4. Okay. So let's send these guys to the dice gulag. We don't need them. All right. So second round. My mech comes ashore. He'll also be attacking at a 3. So let's start with those two. So mech and marine attacking at 3s. That is a 1, if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see. I probably shouldn't have grabbed this guy. Okay, so that's the hit we need. Let's check the fighter for overkill. That's a miss. Airborne, defending at a 2. That's a 6. Okay. So we reclaim Panama for the United States with a Marine and a mech. Very exciting. Okay. Now, our next attack. Let's see if I get this guy right. Is the I want to get a couple dice that are contrasting for this one. There we go. That's better. Okay. So we have our surgical strike here. So I'm going to do the interception round first. And then we'll move on to the seed, which is first strike, and then see what happens after that. Okay. So, both the fighters, which I'm going to represent with this. Actually, I'm going to use a green one for the United States just to make this a little simpler. So fighters are going to be 3s. The whites, which are my attacking planes, are 1s. So interception round. Oh, goody. We have an intercepted plane. That is really frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna lose. Oh, this is frustrating because the A-10 gives me the chance to kill that artillery. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna lose a fighter, which may be stupid, but we'll drop my fighter. So this guy lands. He's out of it. Okay. Now we're going to run the seed attack. 6 or less. This is our attempt to shoot down apart the enemy AAA. And that is a hit, so he is gone. Excellent. Okay. So now my fighter is done and out of this, and we have my attack bomber, which attacks at a 4 generally, and my cruise missile, which attacks at a 5. These are just general strikes. So I'm going to roll the green. This is the cruise missile. So the green is the higher one. We're looking for a green at 5 and a 4 or less for the attack bomber. These would just be general hits. Okay, so that's 1 hit. Flak 88 has elected to lose the light infantry next in his casualty order. And now for the really, hopefully interesting one. We have the A-10, which has full surgical strike value. That's a miss. Oh, well. So this was a very expensive, sad little venture. where we ended up at parity, not at me winning anything else. Actually, no, not even parity, because I chose to take the fighter. So I lost out on this one. Probably a dumb choice, but if I had taken the artillery, I would have considered it worth it. Okay, so once more with feeling. We're going to go for the border strike now. All right, so I get 2 first strike dice at 3s. This is chem, so the first strike would disrupt Flak 88's 3 units and have them have 1 attack defense value lower. If I hit with both, 1's a kill. So we'll see how this goes. I did get a hit, so they're disrupted. You can see that good. All right, so his defenders will be disrupted. I now have, since there's no terrain here, I have a light infantry at 2. It's a miss. And 3 mechs at 3. Those are all misses. So we just have the chem. And hopefully he does not hose me on this one. Okay, so 1 paramilitary at a 1. It's a miss. And then 2 infantry at 3s. Of course he gets a hit. All right, I'll lose a light infantry. This is just not going well this turn. Other than that attack up there. All right. But, you know, I can hear various players saying, "Why did you take the fighter?" Oh, well. This is how the game goes sometimes. Okay, non-combat. So let's figure this out here. We have planes to land back at their bases. So these guys are going back to there. Fighter will go 1, 2, back to here. I am going to take the fleet and move them 1, 2, 3. You know what? I think so. This fighter was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to land the fighter that was here. I'm going to swap these because one of these guys is landing on land and one is landing on a carrier, and one is an FA-18. All right, so this guy's going to land here. I think the air superiority fighter went 1 here. He could go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to also land on the carrier. We're going to bring all the surface ships down. Then this fighter here is going to land on the amphibious assault ship. Okay. I think I'm going to move these guys, except for 1 light infantry, up to Venezuela. Certainly the MBT will defend better up here. And I think that's everything, except place units. All right, so we will be placing our second A-10 here. The SAM and AAA, or SAM and light infantry, will go into French Guiana, where there's an army base. I will place a paramilitary, a second one, in Buenos Aires. So I'll chip him out. I'll be placing a Marine and a airborne, also in Buenos Aires, and producing a cruise missile, which goes on my dashboard. Okay. So believe that means I would collect the same as last time. So I have 6 base income plus 17, since I've reclaimed the Panama again. So I believe I will have the same 23 I had last time. So 15, 20, wait a second, let me do that math again. So 18 plus 17 plus 6, yeah, that should be 23. So, all right, so here we go. There's all that, and that was the end of 3.2. So I will leave it up to Flack88 to figure out how to make my day difficult, and we'll see you next time.